We are mere days away from the regional tournament. One team is heating up heading into the postseason while the other is heading in the opposite direction but has a chance to turn things around here this afternoon. It is time for high school hockey here on The Kuehl Show. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tyler Kuehl, and we are live today just outside downtown Grand Rapids, inside Griff's Ice House, the practice facility of the Grand Rapids Griffins. But today, the host, Northview Wildcats, will be taking on the Hudsonville Eagles in some Fisher Division action here with only 2 games left in the regular season for both of these teams. Let's get you caught up on the 2 teams we'll see today. The home squad, the Northview Comstock Park Sparta Wildcats. The combined program is currently 5-6 this season, 1-4 in division play, currently sitting 4th in the Fisher Division. They're coming off a tough loss last Saturday at the hands of the East Kentwood Falcons. First win of the season for EK in a wild 8-5 game on Saturday night. The Wildcats, they started off well and have done well outside of the Fisher Division. However, they have dropped 3 straight games. They won 3 straight before that, all against Manistee, before heading into that odd contest, to say the least, against the Kentwood Falcons. Their opponents, the Hudsonville Eagles, are 8-6 on the year, 5-3 in division action, currently sitting right above the Wildcats in the Fisher Division, 3rd in the division as they get ready to go in towards the postseason. Both Division I teams getting ready to go. Hudsonville had an interesting Saturday where they played a pair of games. They won 6-1 early in the afternoon against Jenison Wildcats, another division foe, where they won with 2 goals coming from Drew Mulder. Drew Johnson also had a pair, also had an assist as well with 3 points. And Aiden Talsma had quite the game as well, a goal and 3 assists, with Owen Plumert scoring the other marker for the Eagles on the first game of 2 on Saturday. Ryan Torn got 22 saves in the win for Hudsonville. And then they went over and played Portage in a wild 6-5 game. Thankfully, the Eagles were able to outscore the Muskies 3-2 in the third period. Each team scored 1 in the second, 2 in the third, before the Eagles were able to pull it out in the end in the third period. Mulder scored the game-winning goal with just over a minute left in regulation, right after the Muskies actually tied the game. Mulder also had 2 goals in that game. Aiden Talsma, 4 points in the first game of the day against Jenison. How about 4 points in the second game against the Muskies? This time a hat trick, along with an assist as well. Alex Mills also finding the back of the net for the Eagles, and the Saturday nightcap for the Hudsonville Eagles. Johnny Bolema got the win in net, stopped 23 of the 28 shots that he faced. However, that was a big Saturday for the Eagles as they had lost 4 of their last 6 games before that. And now as I bring in my broadcast colleague here tonight, Division III goaltender for the Davenport Panthers, Austin Strauss. Austin, you know, we mentioned it a little bit last week when we broadcasted Granville versus Rockford together. The double header is something that we saw a lot actually this past Saturday across West Michigan. Something we don't really see often in high school hockey, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, you kind of nail it on the head. We usually don't. I mean, obviously during this pandemic, things have to change due to shortened seasons, and so coaches, players, and schools, they all want to play hockey, so they're going to do whatever it takes. And if that means playing double headers, sometimes a 3-game weekend or back-to-back games within the same day, on Friday or Saturday. They're going to do whatever it takes to just kind of make this season as much as it can be and get as many games played in.
And then we look back at the Northview side of things. They've had they had a really good start. And I was able to talk a little bit with Coach Travis Nickel before the game and throughout the week heading prior into this matchup. And he said when the team's on, they're ready to go. And when you're able to play a full game, a full 51 minutes, obviously you're right on top of it. But there's some games they've had a little bit of lackluster, and that's what we saw Saturday against East Kentwood. East Kentwood, like we said, their first win of the season. Northview just needs to find a way to bounce back and, like I said, play that full 3 periods.
Yep, exactly. That seems to be kind of their struggle this year is, when they're on, they're a great team, but it's finding that consistency and bringing that game every single night against, every single team. I mean, as you said, Kentwood, they're getting their first win. Northview may have taken them lightly, and, clearly it kind of obviously didn't go their way as, they kind of gave East Kentwood their first win. And so for them, it's finding that consistency, and it's always bringing that game every single night and playing a full 3 periods.
Well, they're going to try to do that tonight, folks. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get you the players to watch and the keys to the game as our pregame show here on The Kuehl Show continues. You're watching high school hockey here on The Kuehl Show. And welcome back inside Griff's Ice House as our pregame show continues before today's game between the Northview Comstock Park Sparta Wildcats and the Hudsonville Eagles live on this Thursday afternoon. Austin, you kind of mentioned it before we went on air. These Thursday afternoon games, it's a rarity. I mean, you got to get these kids out of school and everything. I mean, shouldn't they be learning right now?
Well, they're supposed to be, but, that's kind of, as student athletes, very rarity in high school hockey, but there are times where you do have to kind of step away from the classroom and, play your sports, your respective sports as well. But hopefully all these kids out of class know that they're going to have to make up the work and that they're going to have to do it on their own time. Hopefully they know that and they will do it.
See, you say that, Austin, but I went to Northview. I can tell you right now, I probably would not be. There'd be no, after a game like today, the game that the Wildcats are probably going to encounter taking on the Eagles, I would probably just go home and take a nap.
Yep,
a really long nap. Homework, schmomework, right? Exactly. Hence why we're all doing this broadcasting stuff. Anyways, let's look at some of the players to watch here tonight. Let's look at the visiting Eagles here first. Like we talked about, a couple guys that had big games on Saturday, and I don't want to say their points are inflated by it, but 8 points on Saturday for Aiden Talsma and Drew Mulder, both the leading scorers on this team, both tied for 23 points, third-year guys. Drew Mulder, I mean, talk about him awesome. He has been a guy that's been consistently good, and he's been able to put up big numbers when it matters most.
Yep, you said it best. I mean, he is on fire this year, especially in these past 5 games. He's out of points in every single 5 games, and he scored goals in the previous 4 games. And as you said, he had 4 goals on Saturday versus Jenison and Portridge. I mean, that's pretty impressive, 8 goals in one day. And so far this season, he's only been held off twice. But again, 23 points this year. That's very impressive for the junior. And then when it also comes to number 28, Aiden Talisman, kind of same thing as you said, 23 points, 8 points last Saturday as well. As both of those players have just been red hot. And the last time these guys have played Northview, Talisman had 3 points versus Northview, which was on February 13th. He had 2 goals and assists. Yeah,
that was a rough night for the Wildcats. We're going to try to remedy that, but Drew Mulder, who had 5 goals against East Kentwood, and I've called a couple games to the Falcons this season, Phil Sweeney. We talked about it. That was their first win against Northview this past weekend, but the Hudsonville Eagles have had a really good offensive output this season. And Aiden Tallsman with the Fox Motors product, he's a guy that was up towards the top of the team in scoring last season, had 17 points, which, if I'm not mistaken, was a little bit on the higher end as my notes all of a sudden got folded up in front of me. Were you messing with my notes when I walked away?
Maybe.
One of the right in front of hey, I'm holding on to right in my hand. No, but Talisman last year had a really good year. He was actually 6th on the team in scoring with 17 points. Drew Mulder had 24 points last year, 2nd on the team in scoring behind Ryan Blackburn, who had 13 goals and 26 points for 39 points in 25 games. That's pretty good, I would say.
Very good. Yep, I would agree with you there.
Let's look at the Northview stars to watch, and I think the guy that I'm pretty sure everyone is on everyone's mind, Austin, I don't think it's a secret at all. It's Filip Ananiev, the Polish, I'm going to call him the Polish playmaker, the senior who is a foreign exchange student, goes to Sparta High School, 12 goals and 7 assists, 19 points. However, I should mention for the folks at home, when I say these stats for Northview today, they are incomplete. They're missing the stats from this past Saturday's game. They've not been inputted yet. But still, Ananiev, the offense really goes through him. We talked about him, 12 goals, 7 assists. He's really one of the big guys for this Northview team.
Yeah, you said, he's definitely, I would make the argument he is their star player, and their offense generally goes through him. As you said, he has 19 points, 12 goals, 7 assists. He's already had 2 hat tricks this year, one against Kalamazoo United and the other against Manistee, those back in February. And from there, these past few games, he has just constantly been heating up. He had 5 points against Jenison and then 3 points versus Manistee, and their kind of back-to-back games against them on February 24th and the 26th. And as we know, as you said, the Polish playmaker, he is from Poland and played on one of their teams. And to be honest, I can't pronounce that name.
I looked it up yesterday. He played for Stanowiec Gdansk. Played for the U14, U16, under-20, and the Polish 1 Liga team, which is the second highest league in Poland. So the kid has definitely played some high-level hockey overseas, and now he comes over here in Northview, and it's showing why he's one of their top guns. And they have a couple of good supporting cast members. Talk about Tomas Postal and Brady Muser, 2 guys that, maybe not the biggest names on this roster, but they've been able to help out and chime in offensively.
Yep, exactly. As you kind of said, Thomas Postal, he's got 13 points this year. He had 4 assists against Jettison on February 16th, and then against Manistee, he had a 4-point night and a 3-point night on the 26th against Manistee as well. Kind of same thing with Brady Mercer. He has 12 points this year. He's a sophomore, his 2nd year. And again, just kind of slowly producing. They may not be, as you said, the big stars, but you always want depth. You always want support for your star guys. And it's always nice when your depth guys can generate for you. And it's always nice to see. And sometimes it's not always the star players who are, going to make the biggest impact. It can come from your lower guys. And as a team, you love seeing that.
Absolutely, and that's how Austin says it, and that's how we're going to go with it. We'll take another break, folks. When we come back, we'll get you what to watch for tonight between the tonight. I keep saying tonight. I'm so used to doing these afternoon games, Austin. Today, between the Eagles and the Wildcats, we'll give you more of your TKS pregame show here on the Kuehl Show. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back inside Griff's Ice House, just outside of downtown Grand Rapids, Michigan, as we get set for today's game between the Northview Comstock Park Sparta Wildcats and the visiting Hudsonville Eagles. Tyler Kuehl alongside Austin Strauss. Austin, let's look at the game that happened earlier on this season, February 13th. We kind of attained to it. We talked a little bit about a couple of the Hudsonville players. Aiden Talisman had a good game against them, as did Drew Mulder, as the Eagles won that game by a score of 8-2. Braden Ostapovich scored a goal and an assist. I'm pretty sure that was his dad who came over to make sure I said his name right. I made sure with that with the head coach of the Eagles before this game today just to make sure, because some of these names are tough, because Ananev is not an easy name to say if you look at it on paper. But regardless, Philip Ananev actually scored in that game for the Wildcats. Jacob Serba also finding the back of the net. And this is a rivalry that dated back to when I played here at Northview in the same division. Back then when it was a Tier 3 division, not necessarily the Fisher division as it is called now. But, those were always tough games. But the Eagles, for a long time, 11 straight wins they have over Northview. And, you wonder, and Austin, I don't mean to pick on you, but you play for D3 Davenport Hockey, and you guys have not beaten Hope in a little bit, to say the least. I mean, what kind of a streak does that, both on both sides, for Hudsonville going into this game, that knowing that you've beaten Northview for the last over 3 years? The last win was actually in 2015-2016 season for Northview. What kind of a mindset, if you are the favorite in this game, being the Eagles, kind of going in on this random afternoon? What is your mindset going into this game?
Part of the mindset, the initial part is the confidence. I mean, you've beaten your rival team, on a consistent basis for the past few years, and they haven't got a one-up on you yet. So you come with that confidence. However, sometimes that confidence can sometimes lead to laziness, as you just feel like, okay, we've been this team before, kind of, same thing, different day. But I do believe, kind of based off of what we've seen, that Hudsonville is not going to do that. They are going to come out and they are going to be just a lot more confident just in general, and they're going to come out kind of flying. With Northview, it is frustrating. When you haven't really beaten your rival team, it's a rivalry. I mean, it's been around since last time you were in high school, which was who knows how long ago.
Oh, gosh. We're not at a decade yet, but I started a decade ago. I'll put it that way.
So it's been a while, but, that rivalry is still there. And for Northview, for them, it's a little frustrating, but also that can kind of build a little bit of a fire for the team to come out and be like, all right, this is the day we're going to change things. So they may come out a little heavy hitting, and they want to get a win. I mean, obviously everyone wants to win, but sometimes it becomes personal, and that personal can be a good thing.
Yeah, and that's something really important, too, because when you are the underdog, you kind of play with nothing to lose at times, and that's what almost kind of favors a team like Northview in this game, where Hudsonville, they're a team, they may not be able to catch up in the division aspect of things, as a quick look at the Fisher Division standings. They're trailing Grand Haven, who is currently 9-3 overall this year. I think they've only lost one division game this year. Kennewood Hill's in front of them. So not necessarily going for a division title, but they're going into a matchup. Are the Eagles taking on that East Kentwood team next Monday in the first round of the regional tournament? You're gearing up as you're Hudsonville. Because it only takes 3 wins in regional action to move on to the state quarterfinals. All of a sudden, you're Hudsonville. You're like, let's get ready to go here, because when you're ready for these playoffs, all of a sudden it takes, you win 3 games. And I'm not saying Hudsonville over Kentwood is a shoo-in. I'm not going to say that. But you want to make sure you're ready to go for that next round when you may end up playing a team like Lowell Caledonia, who's looking really good this year. Maybe possibly West Catholic. There's teams that they're in their region that are tough. And the Eagles, they're not going to take the Wildcats lightly, despite maybe overmatching them on paper.
Yep, exactly. You said it. I mean, towards the postseason, you want to heat up and you want to win the games, and you want to win the games that you are the favorite in, because if you don't, that's going to hurt your confidence, especially coming to the end of the season. As you said, you're going to play against tougher teams in the postseason, so you want to get that confidence going early, and you want to start heat up kind of right away, and that kind of starts towards the end of the season.
Well, we'll see if the Eagles can heat up and continue to heat up after an impressive Saturday, and we'll see if the Panthers can bounce back after a tough go as of late. When we come back, folks, it'll be puck drop between the Wildcats and the Eagles here on this Thursday afternoon. You're watching high school hockey here on The Kuehl Show. And welcome inside Griff's Ice House as we get set for a puck drop between the Eagles and the Wildcats. Let's get you the starting goaltenders. First for the visiting Eagles, it will be number 35, Rylan Torunga. Rylan Torunga this season a 5-6 record with a 4.03 goals against average and an .870 save percentage. And for the Wildcats, it'll be Jameson Pierce. Dylan Kelly, the junior out of Comstock Park. Jameson Pierce is a freshman out of Northview. He'll be backing up today. Obviously, we talked about it, Austin. Northview, underdogs on paper in this matchup, but a good start certainly will help them.
Yep, exactly. I mean, you want to get out. I mean, every team wants to get out to a fast start, but especially if the underdog. I mean, if you can go up in the score a little bit early and you can force Hudsonville to play on your heels, that can definitely give them a massive benefit for this game.
Well, the Wildcats in their home whites, the black shoulder skating left to right across your screen. Hudsonville in their blues with yellow and white trim going right to left, and they'll try to break it on in here in the early stage of this hockey game, but it gets pushed back out to center by Giovanni Sarantino. Puck's played on in. Dylan Kelly for the Wildcats has to sweep it away. Both teams getting an early change here. Puck's quickly played on ahead, left wing side, trying to make a pass towards the center. Looking like that was Thomas Postal, but it was taken away. Now the Eagles will bring it back to the way as it's dumped on in by number 22, Jaden Plumer. In the early stages of this hockey game here, Northview and Hudsonville. We're glad you can join us here on the Kuehl Show. Bowling his way into the Hudsonville zone. That's Anthony Woodring from Oak Ridge High School. It gets knocked back out to center. Chipping it back down low into the Hudsonville zone. That's Jacob Serba, the freshman out of Sparta. Eagles have it in their own zone. Almost a minute into this contest. We're still scoreless between Hudsonville and Northview. And now the left wing side coming on in. That's Drew Johnson, the defenseman. Johnson wraps behind the Northview goal, looking out in front. Back up top, in the top of the circle, this shot by Drew Muller that goes wide. Up to the point, that's Jackson Welch. He works it down around the Northview goal, tries to center, it goes off the side of the net. Puck sits there for a moment. 2-on-2 battle behind the Northview goal. Trying to pull it out of there is Jacob Serba. Now at the side of that, puck bounces back out in front, and they score! Less than 90 seconds in. It looks like that may have been Jackson Welch that got the last stick on it. And the Eagles are out in front early.
Yeah, as you kind of said, in a little puck battle behind the net, as the puck kind of went out in front, it kind of looked like goaltender Dylan Kelly didn't really know where it was, so he kind of went from left to right, kind of leaving that back door open. And as you said, Hudsonville was able to put that goal away to go up 1-0.
Time of the goal, the minute 23 mark. Not the start the Wildcats wanted, but they'll get possession off the draw, and it gets pitched, forked on in by Postal. Puck is in the near side corner, trying to work it up the wall. There is Drew Mulder. Gets towards the slot, and Ananev with a shot that goes wide. Back on front, and they score! Well, that is quite the response, as it looked like that may have been Camden Bormes who got the stick on it last. Actually, correction, that was number 12, Brady Musser, that got the last stick on it. And the Wildcats quickly tie it back up at 1.
Yep, and in all the play initially started with 17, Philip Ananev. We might be saying his name a lot today, but he kind of walked out on the right side, kind of shot a little bit wide, but as it hit off the boards, his winger was able to get it through out in front, and they were able to bury that one.
Well, 2 goals just 15 seconds apart, and we're back to even, but here come the Eagles right back in. Is trying to swing it towards the middle was Derek Vandenberg. Sits at the side of the goal now, poked away by Dylan Kelly, the Northview netminder. We are just 2 minutes into this contest now. We've had a pair of goals, and here comes Philip Ananev down the right wing side. On the backhand, centering out in front, trying to find his man Postal, but it was knocked away. Eagles trying to clear. Good hold at the point by Woodring. And now he'll dump it on in and go for a change. 2 goals, less than 30 seconds apart. In the opening 2 minutes is helter-skelter, as my friend Thomas Biondo would say, as this game has started off. Wildcats look to bring it on in down the right wing side, chipping it on in. It'll be Kyle Pitcher. A 1-3-1 forecheck, as we see here, Austin, kind of allowing the Eagles to break it out, but it looks like the Wildcats are going to try to suction it up and kind of play a little bit of trap game here.
Yep, exactly. They kind of want to play the trap. You know, they're going to give Hudsonville kind of their own offensive zone, but they're going to clog up the neutral zone and basically kind of force Hudsonville to hopefully dump the puck in, and that way Northview can just get the puck in their zone and then do a quick little breakout.
Wildcats control, chipped off the glass, hit a stanchion by Camden Bormes, but on second opportunity, it's dumped on in by Brady Klikutka, the sophomore from Northview. Chipped on in now by the Eagles, back in the Wildcat zone. It slowly rolls on goal, and Dylan Kelly will make the safe play and will cover it up for a face-off. As we just passed the 3-minute mark of this first period, we're tied at 1. Goals coming by way of Jackson Welch and number 12, we're going to say Brady Musser. Musser, that is his 6th goal of the season, 3rd on the team in points. And the goal for Jackson Welch, that is his 9th goal of the season. He's currently 3rd on the Hudsonville Eagles in points. Puck's played on the near side now as the Eagles control off the draw in the Northview zone. Wildcats trying to clear, and Ananev was able to get it out to center. And unfortunately, no much further than that is Braden Ostapovich who gets it back in. He tries to center it on through. Unfortunately, couldn't get the pass on a good defensive play made by Muser. Out from behind his own goal, trying to work it out of there for the Wildcats is Easton Cobb, taken back by the Eagles, throwing across through the slot. Nobody there. Now up at the point, long shot, and they score! It's Drew Mulder from the point through a screen, and the Eagles' lead score puts them back out in front.
Yeah, he set it through the screen there as goaltender Dylan Kelly was not able to pick that up as there's a few bodies in front. As you said, kind of Mulder kind of walked just a little bit to change the angle on the shot and fire it low blocker to make it a 2-1 game.
That goal for Mulder now, the leading scorer. That is his 24th point of the year. Puts him ahead of his buddy Aiden Talsma. 17th goal of the season for Drew Mulder. He's one of the top goal scorers in this Fisher division. Braden Ostapovich brings it right back into the Northview zone. Puck at the line now. A long shot and a high rise that finds the glass. That one was off the stick of Drew Johnson. He has it again at the right point. Another long shot. That one goes off the leg of Dylan Kelly and wide. Trying to push it forward out from behind their own goal. That's Bormes. Taken away now. Here's Woodring. He'll just clear it out and down the ice, and this will certainly go for icing. And it's a little bit of a good start here for the Eagles, but obviously we're only just past the 4-minute mark of this first period. It's 2-1 lead for the Eagles. We had goals a minute 23 and a minute 38 in as Hudsonville was able to quickly jump out in front, but Northview was able to quickly get it right back. And obviously not the best start for Northview Austin, but so far, hey, you're only down by 1.
Yep, exactly. And I mean, all it takes is one shot, and it's, again, another tie game, and hopefully they can kind of change the momentum in their favor.
Well, they have to get the puck out of their own zone. Easton Cobb in the far corner gets pinned to the boards on a good play made by Alex Mills. Chipped down low, now centered out in front, intended for Jackson Seiler, but it gets knocked away. Now Seiler with another chance and a shot, but that gets blocked as getting in the way. That one was Cobb. The Eagles still have possession. Pass was knocked away. Backhanded towards the goal. Save made by Kelly. The rebound's cleared away as Derek Vandenberg got that one through. Eagles still pressuring here at the left point. It's Ethan Rad. Throws one on through. That one gets blocked as getting in the way of that one was Jacob Serba, and at least the Wildcats able to clear the zone. Eagles bring it right back in, trying to get through as Vandenberg, but a good hold at the blue line by Jacob Serba, the freshman defenseman. Standing about a 5'11", dumped on in by the Eagles. No icing the call. Back on for is Giovanni Saratino. Plays it up the near boards. However, the Wildcats are changing. Eagles hold it in. Trying to make a move with Jackson Seiler, but it's cleared to the line by Woodring, not out. Seiler has it again to the backhand. Centers one in the slot and just slapped out to center. Dumped right back in, though, by Tyler Sheldon. However, the Eagles are offside, so the Wildcats have an opportunity to break out. Long pass ahead, knocked down. Here's Kyle Pitcher trying to make his move down the right wing side. Gets puck knocked off his stick, trying to get it out of there for the Eagles is Cole Tornga. He gets knocked down for his trouble. Still on the battle there in the corner for the Wildcats is Pitcher. It's coming in to help out is Brady Klakaka, but it's knocked back by the Wildcats, or knocked away from the Wildcats by the Eagles. Good hold at the right point. It's coming on down low as Anthony Woodring. He's able to push it all the way down himself. He'll come back to his blue line position as the Eagles have the puck back here with 11:18 to go in the first period. They lead by a score of 2-1. Puck gets knocked back out as the Eagles try to get it back in the Northview zone. Woodring knocks one man off the puck, and another bump there by way of Saratino. And a third bump as well, as the Wildcats throwing the body a little bit here, but they have it in their own zone with Saratino. Long stretch pass ahead, flipped by everybody, and this will go for icing, as unfortunately unable to collect that pass was Postal, so we'll go 200 feet back in the Northview zone with 10:53 to go in the opening period.
So far, you kind of have to like the pace of both these games, or excuse me, not games, both of these teams, as both of them are just kind of going north and south, gaining speed to the neutral zone and just trying to set up in the zone and just kind of get shots in front, or at least for Hudsonville's doing it. Northview, it's a little struggle right now.
Eagles win the draw. Shot from the left point gets knocked down as throwing that one towards the goal is Aiden Talsma. It was blocked. Knocked ahead to center by Muser. Collecting it here is Postal, left wing side. Tries a center in front for Ananev, but it was knocked away. Good back pressure there by the defenseman Talsma. Wildcats trying to hold it in. Muser lost his stick, did for a moment, but it gets knocked back out in the neutral zone. Pitchforked right back in by Caden Obetz, as the Eagles will settle things down in their own zone. Talsma, the defenseman and second leading scorer on the Eagles Hockey Club, gets it ahead. Now coming across the line, here's a chance for Ostapovich with a shot and a high riser going glove side, found the glass. Shot by Talsma, that gets blocked as getting away. That one was Muser. To the line, not out. Talsma holds it again. Across, long shot on through, deflected on, saved by Kelly, and another chance. That one's knocked away. And the puck will be cleared out and down the ice by the Wildcats. They'll take the icing as Brady Klekutka decides to make the safe play. There's a couple of good saves there by Dylan Kelly, Mr. Strauss.
It sure was, and I mean, he was, staying squared there, and, that was a wonderful tip by Hudsonville, but he was able to read it, make the reaction save, and kind of get the puck just a little bit out of the, danger zone for him. And then for Northview, I mean, they're doing a wonderful job of just clogging up those shooting lanes and blocking shots. I think they got 6 or 7 blocked shots right now.
Face-off won by the Eagles, but the Panthers get it, or the Wildcats get it, excuse me. I'm so used to calling teams with the red and black called Panthers, but regardless, we have an offsides call here as Brady Klekutka went offsides, and unfortunately, applying pressure was Woodring, and that kind of forced the whistle of the official. So a face-off just outside the Eagles zone. 9:49 to go in the first period. 2-1 the lead for the visiting Eagles. Top line comes back out for the Wildcats. On the draw, Thomas Postal, he's able to win it back. Backhanded on in by Jacob Serba, but the Eagles regain possession, at least for a moment. Wildcats giving him some flack, but it gets knocked back out to the neutral zone. Serba retreats. Turns it up on the backhand off the glass out to the neutral zone. Dumped right back in, though, by Tyler Sheldon, and the Wildcats will have to go back behind their own goal. Near turnover there as it was almost given away by Easton Cobb. The Eagles, though, trying to keep it in. Philip Ananev is able to get it out to the line, and just out as now it's picked up. Easton Cobb gets it knocked off his stick. Look out here, chance for the Eagles, but unfortunately fumbling it just a little too much was Noah Walks. As now Northview look to bring it back to the way. Just dumping on in will be Thomas Postal. He'll go for a line change. Wildcats will set up their neutral zone trap here with 9 minutes to go in the first period. A long pass ahead, knocked ahead by the Eagles. Carter Brink. He gets hit with a firm check just to the right of the Northview bench. That by way of Giovanni Saratino, the junior defenseman. That gets a little bit of a rise out of the Wildcat bench. Right wing side, Camden Bormes around all the way around the Eagles' goal. Tries to circle and reverse play, but it was knocked his pass intended. But Brady Klekutka was knocked away. Anthony Woodring can't hold the line for Northview as now here come the Eagles across the line with speed as Seiler. His shot gets blocked as getting in the way of that one was Bormes again. At the point, trying to wrist one on through, deciding to dump it down low. It's Austin Plummer behind the goal. Trying to center it out in front is Mills. On his second opportunity, he'll just corral it. Down low is Seiler. He gets pinned to the boards by a pair of Wildcats. Saratino in there as well. He's pinned another man as Alex Mills tried to dig it out of there. It gets worked back up to the point on a cross. Knocked back down low by the Eagles. They're getting a good cycle game going here with 8 minutes left in the first period. They lead by 1. Wildcats get the puck and they'll just clear out and down the ice, and this one will go just to the right of the Eagles netminder, Rylan Tornga, who, if I'm not mistaken, Austin, now unfortunately we don't have a shot counter here, but I don't think Tornga's had more than one shot on goal, and that's the one up on the board.
Yep, nope, I think you said it best. I mean, so far Northview really hasn't gained any puck possessions, nor they've had really any good scoring opportunities. They had obviously their goal, and then they had a quick little 2-on-1, but that kind of got disrupted by Hudsonville's defense.
Look out here. Here's Philip Ananev down the left wing side. Takes a shot, and there's that first save, and it's a good one there by Tornga, is catching that one, snagging it out of the air as the Wildcats leading scorer, able to create that offense. And we see just sometimes Ananev, he's got that step of his. He gets a couple good strides, and it helps with the big, long, tall frame that he has. Was able to create a scoring chance off it. Yep,
exactly as you said, and he's got a quick little 1-2 step and a quick, nice little release to kind of maybe catch the goalie off guard, but Ryan Torga wasn't having that and made a good glove save.
There was a shot off the draw by Postal. He tried to win it forward. Torn goes up to the task on that one, and now the Eagles come back the other way with Ostapovich. Right wing side. Takes a shot, and that went off the side of the goal. I don't know if Kelly got a piece of it. Nonetheless, back to the point. Talls with the shot. That gets blocked. Postal trying to clear it. Can't. Good hold at the right point by way of Drew Johnson. Puck gets chipped up over the side glass over on the far side. Almost hitting one of the Rockford Rams. That's the Rams locker room over here at Griff's Ice House, and they're practicing on the other sheet of ice here at Griff's Ice House. Griff's Ice House, which has barely changed over the years. There is the red paint behind the benches, which is new. Other than that, it's pretty much just about the same here since back when I was a young lad. Wildcats win the draw, and they'll clear out to center, but the Eagles get it right back with 7:12 to go here in the first period. Puck goes off the stick of Drew Mulder. Now it's taken back the way by Northview, dumped on in by way of Brady Klekutka. So they'll back off, and they'll look to set up their trap as the Eagles look to break it out themselves. Good little pressure here as trying to get a turnover. It's Kyle Pitcher. He bumps a guy down, but the Eagles able to get it to the neutral zone. Drew Mulder can't handle it cleanly as it will slide all the way back into the Northview zone, and that's where you kind of see the trap work there, Austin. They didn't allow the Eagles to get in the zone, even though the puck went in their own zone. Now the Wildcats have possession.
Yep, exactly. As you kind of said, as the 1-3-1 trap, you want to clog up the neutral zone. You don't want to get beat, because if you do get beat, you only got one guy back, and that can lead to a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1.
So now the Wildcats have it in their own zone, though, with 6.5 minutes remaining here in the opening period. Eagles lead by a score of 2-1. In the near side corner, Giovanni Serratino clears it to the line, and it's collected now as Philip Ananiev will come to the red line, looks a little bit of room. He'll decide to dip the shoulder, dances around Johnson, though he can't get the clean play off by himself. Centers it out in front, though, for Postal, and a big save made by Toringa. Great setup by Ananiev, but a great save made by the Eagles netminder.
Yep, as you kind of said, that was Anna who kind of walked in, made a nice little move, but couldn't fully get, full puck possession and get, the shot up, but he was able to go around the net. Throw out in front for Postal, but Ryan Toringa was there to make that save off the post.
Face off to the left of Toringa, won by the Wildcats. Fanning on the first attempted shot was Obetz, but he's able to move it down. Here's a shot by Muser off the skate, trickles on goal, and a shot from a bad angle by Postal, stopped by Toringa. Another try by Ananiev, and that's stopped as well. As now the Wildcats starting to warm to the task, putting some pressure on the Hudsonville netminder.
Yep, exactly. That's what you're doing if you're Northview. No shot's a bad shot. Is just kind of get pucks in the net, and you never know. Weird bounces kind of happen, as we kind of saw there. They had a few good rebound tries, but again, Ryan Toringa so far, after that first goal, he's been looking really sharp.
Ryan Toringa, unfortunately, I can't get the exact height of him, but he looks about 6'2" from here. Yeah. I'm 6'2", and he kind of looks about my height, maybe? I don't know. Austin, are you a good judge of height?
No, I am not even close.
Puck's in the Eagles zone. Good pressure behind the goal. Pitcher is able to get the turnover. His centering pass, though, is knocked away. Coming on down low to help him out is Kokaka, but he gets knocked back to the side of the goal. Is just swinging on through his pitcher and knocking that one away with the paddle was the netminder Toringa. Here's a long shot from the point. That goes wide off the stick of Camden Bormes. Up to the point. Serratino tried to hold it in, but it skips over his stick. On a bit of a foot race, as Serratino is now coming on over and slapping it up the near side boards as Bormes. As the Wildcats unable to clear. Here's a long shot by way of Seiler. That gets deflected wide over the far side. Back down low, trying to find our centering pass where the Eagles is unable to get that one through as Mills. Mills has it in the near side corner. Correction, that's 15, Derek Vandenberg. He's on it again for Hudsonville, looking to center. It swings one towards the goal. It gets knocked away by Anthony Woodring of Northview. He'll clear over to the far side. Hooked at least to center by Postal. Second opportunity, he's trying to get by. He does get by way of Tyler Sheldon, unfortunately a little too ahead of him, but he turns it over to the defenseman for the Eagles. Postal trying to center it now as Ethan Rad trying to make up for his mistake and helps the Eagles at least clear the zone. Wildcats have it. The Eagles with a full sail change here with 4.5 to go in the first period. However, the pass misses Postal, and that will result in an icing, and we'll come back down to the Wildcat zone. At least, though, they get a line change to Northview here. In high school hockey, you are allowed to change on an icing call, and obviously every level below that.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. Us college folks, it's like, oh, my goodness. Got to call a timeout or something. Get a reprieve. Nope. Here we just change. It's okay. Face off to the right of Dylan Kelly. A shot from a bad angle by Mulder. That gets blocked. Here's Ostapovitz on it in the corner for Hudsonville. Looks out in front. He'll bring it back up to the point. Playing a little bit of catch with Austin Plummer. He gets knocked off the puck, though, does Ostapovitz. And now back the way with speed on the right wing side. Comes Brady Klakaka. He stopped up in a good firm check. Held in, though, at the right point by Camden Bormes. And gets worked back down the Eagles zone as Hudsonville looks to break it out now with 4 minutes left here in the first period. Hudsonville leads by a score of 2-1. Puck's played on in. Dylan Kelly will knock it over to the corner for the Wildcats. Clearing attempt failed by way of the defenseman Bormes. Here's a shot from the point. That gets blocked, and it gets knocked back out to center by Bormes, making up for his mistake. Not enough for icing, though. Wildcats get a full wholesale change. Quickly played ahead. Now Drew Moeller will just shoot it in from the neutral zone. Gets knocked down as Northview quickly try to turn it up here. User across the red line will backhand it in the Hudsonville zone with 3.5 to go in the opening period. Ananiev trips his man, and that will be a penalty. Ananiev coming over saying, sorry, friend, as he tripped up on the play, Austin Plummer. As it looked like there, that was, I don't want to say it was accidental, but you could tell Ananiev looked like he was trying to go for the puck with the stick. Unfortunately, the foot of Austin Plummer was in the way.
Yep, exactly. That kind of happens, and it's mistakes happen, and, sometimes those types of penalties are going to happen, as it really did look unintentional, but a penalty is a penalty. You tripped him. You got to go to the box.
So Ananiev will go off. First power play of the game for the Eagles. First power play of this hockey game, coming at the 13, 20, or 32 mark. Face-off won by the Eagles. Wildcats almost cleared it, but Hudsonville gets it back, and they'll set up shot. Over to the far side, Drew Johnson gives it for Talsma. Talsma looks for a lane, takes a shot in a high riser, finds the glass, almost took the head off of Dylan Kelly. Johnson has it again at the point. Backdoor, trying to tip on goal, but unable to is Vandenberg. He looked at that backdoor play. A great feed by Johnson. Johnson, 13 assists on the season. One of the top scoring defensemen on this team behind Talsma. Here's Vandenberg looking out in front. He couldn't find his man as that pass was intercepted by Serba, and it's cleared out and down the ice.
Yep, as you said, wonderful play by Serba to just kind of read the play and, kind of turn over the puck there and then get it down the ice.
Eagles come right back in with 1:15 to go on the Ananiev penalty, but the puck skipped over the stick of Drew Johnson for the Eagles and now have to retreat to the neutral zone. Him and Talsma playing catch. Between the two defensemen, Johnson and Talsma, they are currently combined at, I believe that, if my math serves me correct, 40 points on the year between the two. Not too bad for your blue liners getting in on the offensive attack, Austin?
No, that is a great defensive duo to have, being able to play well defensively and generate a lot of offense on the back end.
45 seconds left in the Ananiev penalty. Eagles have possession. It gets worked down the wall, center towards the goal by Vandenberg, and it's just chipped high into the air and gets out to center by way of Saratino. Talsma tries to get up the wall. Woodring knocked it away, but he takes a tumble, unable to get possession. He gets it back now, and he'll finish off the clear as it goes all the way back down behind the goal. Rylan Torga stopping up for his defenseman. There's 23 seconds left in the power play for the Eagles. 1:50 left in this first period. The Eagles lead by a score of 2-1. Turnover at the blue line. A good job by Giovanni Saratino to clear it back down the ice. Maybe one last rush here for the Eagles power play. Pass ahead for Jackson Welch was knocked away. Following up was Ostapovich, and he couldn't enter the zone cleanly as the Wildcats almost put like a brick wall on this blue line as the penalty expires. 0 for 1 are the Eagles with the man advantage, but long shot from the neutral zone knocked down with the glove as Mulder fired that one on from about 75 feet. Puck's in the near side corner. Ananiev pulls it out for the Wildcats, being pressured by Welch. He's able to quickly dance around him. Good stick lift, gets it away from him. Dances around Mulder, and now Ananiev, look out here. Right wing side, he curls on in, stops up, but a great play on the back check. Diving to knock it away was Austin Plummert, knocking the puck away from the Polish playmaker. Here comes Mulder back the way for the Eagles with a shot. Save, and it goes in! They score! Mulder is able to sneak one on through the legs of Kelly, and the Eagles go back up by 2.
Yeah, as you said, that play all started with a wonderful defensive play by Owen Polmert as he was able to just dive and make a little stick check there on the Polish playmaker there, Ananiev, and then just going the other way. Wonderful play by Mulder. He's able to walk in, kind of fakes the shot, just kind of walked around the defenseman in the high slot, shot at 5-hole to make it a 2-goal game.
Time of that goal, the 16:07 mark. They'll say unassisted on the goal by Mulder, but you may not get up on the score sheet, but definitely credit Austin Plummert with an assist on that one. A magnificent play because it looked like Ananiev was going to get that shot off from a bad angle, but regardless, now it's a 3-1 game. 2 goals already for Mulder here in this first period. 30 seconds left in the opening period as now it gets chipped on back in by the Eagles. Retreating from to behind his own goal, it's Camden Bormas. He'll slap it off the glass in the neutral zone. Chipped on ahead by Klikutka. However, this will go for icing. So Klikutka at the end of a shift will just take the line change as we have a face-off in the Northview zone with 17.9 seconds to go. So here, quickly recap here the scoring. We had goals within the first 98 seconds, 2 of them. 1 for the Eagles, that was by Jackson Welch, and 1 by way of Brady Muser for the Wildcats, and then back-to-back goals by Mulder is why we sit at a 3-1 score. 13 seconds left in the period. Eagles trying to get maybe one last chance, but it gets ahead now for Ananiev. He'll slap it up the boards, however, just outside the reach of Postal, trying to spring the junior from Sparta down that right wing side. Unfortunately, unable to connect. And that is maybe the one possible, we talk about high school hockey. It's nice you can get a change on the icing call, but the delayed icing, or the hybrid icing as they call it, fortunately, if the puck crosses the goal line, even if you beat the defenseman out to the line, doesn't quite matter.
Yep, exactly. You kind of nailed it best. Delay icing can be a good thing, but as, we've kind of talked about in a few games, it is for the safety of the players to just have an icing.
Here's a shot by Johnson that gets deflected wide, and that's how we'll end period number 1. Well, the Wildcats were able to quickly answer back after the Eagles went ahead. However, a pair of goals by the leading scorer for Hudsonville puts them up by 2 after 17 minutes of play. We'll take a break, folks. When we come back, it'll be more of the first intermission report between Northview and Hudsonville as you're watching high school hockey here on the Kuehl Show, which you can catch every Monday night on 12-ounce sports, which you can catch the best and brightest hockey analysis from all the way from the NHL down to the college, junior, and even high school ranks, including great interviews that are fun to listen to and watch as well, including this one here with longtime radio play-by-play voice of the Detroit Red Wings, Ken Kuehl. Just a few minutes ago that I still have Chris Osgood in my office here on the set of the Kuehl Show. But like you said, 2008 stands as the last cup in Motown. But obviously, as great the playoffs were, and that series against Pittsburgh was memorable, it's Game 6 that is always the most memorable because not just for, the Wings winning the cup, but for you, Ken, in particular. You just came off Game 5 where it was a triple overtime game. I stayed up all night to only be disappointed to watch Peter Sikora score for the Pens. And then the morning of Game 6. Ken, take us through that day through the eyes of Ken Kuehl.
Well, just going back to Game 5, and if I'm wrong with this recollection, make sure you correct me. But I remember that the Red Wings had the lead with about 30 seconds to go, and we were really counting it down just because the Red Wings should have won the cup on home ice. And then they scored the goal, right, to tie it up. And then it went into triple overtime, and they won. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was Maxime Talbot tying up. And I remember Holmstrom had that great chance in front of the net, too.
Yeah, and so I just remember everybody, they had the locker room all set up for interviews and everything, and with 30 seconds to go, there was going to be overtime. Everybody, I'm hearing the second hand, but everybody went into the Red Wing locker room, and there was chaos in there because they had to tear everything out of there because they didn't win the cup, right? So, yeah, that was pretty disappointing, but yeah, it was a long game, and then the next day was a travel day. We went to Pittsburgh, and I just felt that something wasn't right. Like, I don't know if I was catching a cold or something, but something just wasn't right. And then the morning of Game 6, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I couldn't talk. And I was panicking a little bit, and I'm going like, well, let's give this some time. Maybe by 8 or 9 in the morning, it'll get better, but it just got worse. And so I had to email my boss over at the radio station, and they brought Ken Daniels in to do the game. And Kenny, to this day, I still say he should have called the final 11 or 12 or 15 seconds just because of the fact that he did the game. And as a TV guy, you never get the opportunity to call history, I guess, because you're done after the first round. The radio guys get an opportunity to go all the way. But when he threw it to me, I think I only had about 15 seconds of voice left, and what a thrill it was because Pittsburgh almost tied it up. Puck went through the crease after Osgood made a great save, and the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup. But I think I had just enough voice to get through it, and everything worked out.
Everyone talks about, a great, overcoming adversity, like, Bobby Baugh in the 64 finals against Detroit scoring on a broken leg, Michael Jordan with the flu game, as we've learned now is the food poisoning game. No one ever talks about the laryngitis game, Ken. I can't believe it.
Well, I'm not a player, and I think if it was a player that had some, like you said, Bobby Baugh breaking the leg, it'd be a little bit different, but
And welcome back inside Griff's Ice House here. After one period of play, the Hudsonville Eagles lead the Northview Wildcats by a score of 3-1. Let's take you back to what exactly happened in that first period. Started off guns a-blazing as the Eagles got out in front early, just a minute 23 in. Jackson Welch was able to find a loose puck in the crease. Austin, you mentioned it. Dylan Kelly kind of looked out of sorts as the puck was behind the net, jumps out in front, and the Eagles were out in front right away.
Yep, exactly. I mean, it was a little 2-on-2 battle in the corner just right behind the net, and the puck kind of fluttered out, and it, from what I could tell, it looked like Dylan Kelly thought it maybe went to the other side, so he kind of slid to the other post, and then at that point, the puck's right in front of the net, and as you said, Jackson Welch is right there to just bury the puck in to make it 1-0.
However, it was not 1-0 for long. It's just 15 seconds later, the Wildcats went right in on the attack. Filip Ananiev, we talked about it, the Polish playmaker, makes a big play, centers it out in front for a wide-open Brady Muser. That goal from Muser giving him on the season a grand total of now 6 goals in his, well, 6 goals unofficially, of course, we should probably mention, but that made it a 1-1 game, and that was just the response Northview needed.
Yep, exactly. I mean, you're down 1-0 early, but then all of a sudden, your top line goes in as that whole line, it was Ananiev, Bormes, and then, their goal scorer for Brady Muser as we'll just kind of call him the Polish playmaker. I'm going to be honest, folks. It's a little easier for me to say that than Ananiev. He threw, he kind of walked over the dot, shot it, just missed wide, though. But it was there for him, was number 2, Bormes, who was able to get it and then throw it out in front right to Muser, and he was able to bury it.
And that made it a 1-1 game, and it looked like maybe Northview was going to be able to push back, but Hudsonville's offense went to work. And just a couple minutes later, the 3:33 mark, the 17th goal of the season for Drew Mulder. And a play that I'm pretty sure Dylan Kelly wants back, not really wants back, wants to be just different. It was a shot from the point that he couldn't even see until it was in the back of the net.
Yep, exactly. As it kind of started with Jaden Palmer, as he kind of walked near to the point, he dropped it off for Drew Mulder, who kind of took a little bit 2 steps near the boards, was able to shoot it low blocker, and Dylan Kelly did not see that until, as you said, the puck was in the back of the net, low blocker.
But then he was able to get a chance at later. Mulder, a second goal of the game, and was able to sneak one on through Dylan Kelly with a shot that I'm sure Kelly, that one probably he really wants back. However, that play doesn't happen, Austin, as Filip Ananiev brought the puck down to our right for the Wildcats. Looked like he had a great chance on goal, but a great back check by Noah Plummer to get the turnover and force the puck back to the way, leading to the Mulder goal.
Yep, I mean, Filip Ananiev, he kind of went in, almost looked like he was going coast to coast, and then as he stopped to pull up to get ready for a shot, it was Palmer who was able to back check, making a dive, make a beautiful poke check to get it out, and it just happened to land right onto Drew Mulder's stick. He was able to come up the near boards, one-on-one, able to make a little cut into the high slot and then kind of rip it 5-hole on Kelly.
That goal by Jackson Welch, by the way, that was his 9th of the year. Mulder's got 2 for his 17th. The goal by Muser, his 6th of the season. And, we mentioned it off the top. The Wildcats, really no pressure, and they came out. They were tied, early on. They were able to quickly bounce back, but now the Eagles have kind of, I don't say opened it up a little bit. It's only a 2-goal lead, but they started to really take the play to Northview. I mean, what do you think if you're Coach Nickel in the locker room right now? What are you trying to say to the team to kind of have them try to bounce back?
Yep, you're just going to kind of tell them, initially you kind of want to stick with your game plan because, when they do the 1-3-1 trap well, it does work well. It forces Hudsonville to dump the puck in and their D are able to go back, get the puck, and do a quick breakout. But it's also just, again, we kind of say it all the time, but you want to stick to the fundamentals. You want to get the puck in deep. You want to have puck possession. You kind of want to activate your D a little bit by getting pucks to the point and just keep shooting the puck. You want to test Ryan Torgma, as they haven't had a whole lot of opportunities. They had a few, but that's what you want to do. You want to test this goaltender, keep getting pucks on net, and just, find rebounds, and you never know what happens.
Well, Torunga, we mentioned it because right as we saw it, as about maybe 4 or 5 minutes into the period, I'm like, well, that was probably the only shot he's faced. But ever since I said that, broadcaster Jinx comes flying in there on cue. He has to make a few big saves, had to make a couple in tight against Muser and Postal as well. And, when you're a goaltender that doesn't get that many shots, when you're only facing maybe 4 or 5 shots a period, you don't have room to make a mistake.
Nope, you do not. I mean, because your team's dominating play, and, you don't want to let the other team back in. So you always got to stay sharp, always stay focused, and make saves, whether it's, maybe just a dump in or a very high-quality chance as a goaltender. You always have to be ready, and you always have to make those saves.
Well, folks, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be the second period between the Eagles and the Wildcats. Can the Cats bounce back, or will Hudsonville ride the momentum into period 2? We'll find out as you're watching high school hockey here on The Kuehl Show, where you can catch fun interviews with even the best and brightest from outside the NHL, including women's hockey. I was able to have a chance to talk with Digit Murphy of the Toronto Six, the president and head coach of the Toronto Six, and she offered a good reason why people should watch women's hockey and her team, the Toronto Six. And Digit, of course, is kind enough to follow our show here on Instagram, which you all should as well, at The Kuehl Show.
Yeah.
And I did a little look, and I went on your profile there, and you've been doing a series of videos recently called 37 Seconds for Title IX.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, Title IX only has 37 words in it. Look it up, which is legit.
Look it up.
So,
Look it up.
37 seconds here, Digit, right before we let you go here. 37 seconds to explain to people why people should watch and follow women's hockey.
This is Digit Murphy, 37 seconds, because Title IX only has 37 words. Look it up. You should come watch the Toronto Six because we're fun, fast, and furious. We care about education, empowerment, and inclusion. And if you don't watch, you're missing out. That's Digit Murphy, 37 seconds, because Title IX only has 37 words. Out.
And welcome back inside Griff's Ice House as we're set for period number 2 between the Wildcats and the Hudsonville Eagles. After 17 minutes, the Eagles lead by 2. Wildcats now going right to left across your screen. Eagles going left to right as we are back underway here from Griff's Ice House. Tyler Kuehl alongside Austin Strauss here for you on this Thursday afternoon. Eagles went out in front just a minute 23 into that first period. Wildcats answered right back, but since then the Eagles 2 goals from their leading scorer, Drew Mulder, is what put them out in front. Now they look for some more here right off the top as here's a chance at the side of the goal. Is trying to poke one on through. There was Peyton Wilson. Shot from the point. That gets deflected, and they score! A shot from Ethan Rad at the point. Looked like it was deflected on through. I'm not sure which one tipped it, but it looks like they're all signaling at number 9, Carter Rank, the sophomore, and make it 4-1 Eagles.
Yeah, that play kind of initially developed as it looked like Northview, got a little pressure from the forecheck from Hudsonville, and they just couldn't get it out, and there was a high-scoring opportunity right in the slot, but nothing happened. But then Hudsonville brought the puck around to the near side, gave it to the point, shot, and then tip, and 4-1.
So we'll wait to hear the official from the public address announcer, but time of the goal coming at just the 28-second mark of the second period. Wildcats, they'll go right back in on the attack here. Pitcher puts it behind the goal, looking for Woodring. A little bit of out of his reach, cleared to the line, and just off the skate of Jacob Serban out. Now trying to dance his way through his Mulder, trying to get around Easton Cobb. Cobb gives him a little bit of nudge in that far corner, but Mulder's able to work him off the puck. Gets around one man, not the second, as Klakaka knocked it away. However, the Eagles go right back on the forecheck. Welch centers it. Look out. That's Mulder looking for the hat trick, and he fired it wide. Not the guy you want to give the puck, and not the guy you want to leave open in that high slot like that.
Nope, that was a little defensive mistake there by Northview as no one was able to pick him up or even see him, and he had a high-quality opportunity, but luckily that went just wide.
Stretch pass by the Eagles goes all the way down for icing, so we'll come back down to our left in the Hudsonville zone. Just a minute 11 here in the second period. So they'll say Ethan Rad the goal, and I'm pretty sure I heard unassisted, so scratch that for Mr. Brink. Ethan Rad the goal scorer for Hudsonville. That is his first of the season, and by the way, they retrieved the puck out of net, the first of his high school career. So congratulations to Mr. Ethan Rad, the sophomore. Here come the Eagles trying to break out of their own zone, turned over at the line. Muser holds it in, however, tries to dive between a pair of Eagles and unable to do so. Dumping it back down, at least trying to dump it back down in Hudsonville zone was Caden Bormes, and that one caught the inside. It looks like of Aiden Talsman as he's kind of hunched over right in front of us here at Griff's Ice House. 3-goal lead here for the Eagles as they get possession, and Muser just buries a man in the near side as kind of ran into Austin Plumbert, and unfortunately, when physics meets size over matter, and that time Plumbert was able to get knocked down, but look out, a chance now for the Eagles, in tight, and a shot at this near side is trying to get one on through. Well, it looked like that was Owen Plumbert. Unfortunately, he pulled out the 9-iron and fired up into the netting and out of play.
Yeah, when you get that high-scoring opportunity, and you hate when you see it, the puck kind of flips on you, and it just kind of goes straight into the netting, and oof. I mean, luckily for Northview, but for Hudsonville, I mean, clearly, Fulmert's going to want that one back.
Yeah, well, when you're at the side of the goal like that, you're just trying to find a spot maybe up top, and obviously in tight, you don't want to just put it on goal. As Plummer tried to go for the roof, unfortunately, he went for the wrong roof.
That he did.
Puck play at the line, good play made there by Nate Miller to try to clear it. Unfortunately, unable to do so as Nate Miller is kind of having a discussion with Austin Plummer as he bumped Plummer at the Northview blue line, but the puck's in the Hudsonville zone. Here's Woodring at the top of the slot. Wants to shoot. It does, and it gets deflected wide. It looked like maybe Kyle Pitcher got up the side of him. Now here's a shot from a bad angle. That gets knocked away. Eagles get it back. Good little play. Good move made by Derek Vandenberg as he exits the Northview zone into Northview's territory with a shot. He couldn't get it off, but he drew a penalty as it comes back to the point with Sawyer Richards with a pass across. Chance and a shot by Austin Plummer goes wide. Netminer gets pulled with the extra attacker. Power play upcoming. Puck is not turned over quite yet. Still possessed by the Eagles. Here's Jackson Seiler. He gets worked off the puck. Vandenberg, top of the circle, takes a shot, deflected. Oh, and Dylan Kelly, right place, right time, knocked it away. However, puck's not turned over yet as the Eagles still have it. Drew Mulder on the far corner. Throws it back up to the point. Sawyer Richards has it, wants to shoot it, throws one towards the goal off the side of the net. Still not corralled yet by Northview as play continues on. Mulder at the left point. Over to the near side, Richards fakes the shot, fans on the shot, plays it down low though. Trying to grab it to Serba, still can't though. Finally thrown in the feet of, looks like that was Nate Miller, and he'll touch up as the penalty upcoming to Northview will give Hudsonville the first power play of this period, second of the game.
And that was a wonderful job by Hudsonville as I believe that was Welch who kind of drew the penalty as he was coming in, flying up near the left side and kind of forced, Northview to kind of take that penalty. And Hudsonville did a wonderful job in the delayed penalty of kind of keeping that puck in and getting a few good scoring opportunities.
Time of this penalty coming at the 3:23 mark of the second period. Hudsonville power play, according to Michigan High School Hockey Hub, has 0 power play goals this season. I don't believe that's accurate, but we'll see it go to work here for the second time. Here's Mulder at a bad angle with a shot and a good right pad save, holding that far post. Did Dylan Kelly. Up to the point, quickly fire back cross for Johnson again. Over for Mulder again. Fans on the shot the first time, and it gets kind of hauled down a little bit awkwardly as he got entangled with, I believe, got entangled with Ananiev as the puck's cleared by the Wildcats. The two leading scorers colliding there on the far side. 1:30 left on the power play for the Eagles. They try to enter the zone. Unfortunately, a little ahead of the play was Ostapovich, so the Eagles will quickly retreat and it gets dumped back in. Puck gets shipped over to the far side. Here's Jackson Welch wrapping around behind the Northview goal. Up to the right point, trying to move it on through his Tallsman. Takes a shot, deflected on, save, made, rebound, they score! The hat trick for Mulder as he bangs it in, and the Eagles cash in on the power play, makes it a 5-1 game.
And that goal developed in the far corner there is for Northview as they just couldn't ice the puck down, as they did a good job of kind of corralling it, but they just couldn't fire it. Hudsonville did a wonderful job of creating the turnover, sending it to the near side point, fired it kind of far side, and as you said, for the hat trick for Mulder, able to bury that rebound.
That gives him now 19 on the season for Mulder. Wasn't quite the top leading scorer last season as we continue on here with 12:40 to go here in this second period. As look at Mulder's stats, he finished second on the team, 11 goals, 13 assists. Definitely a respectable mark for then the junior Mulder, but obviously this year he's really stepped up in his final year in high school hockey.
You do like seeing kind of that senior leadership of, him kind of progressing, not just as a goal scorer, but just in general, just kind of as a leader in the way he plays on the ice.
Face-off coming to the left of the netminder Rylan Torringa, who hasn't had a whole lot of work in this period, hasn't had a lot of work in the game, but he's been sharp at times, though, for the Eagles, despite giving up one in the first period on the first shot that he faced. Face-off won by the Wildcats, shot by Postal gets deflected. Ananiev has it in the corner. Now works it up the half wall, looks over his options, cycles it down low. Postal has it, spins around, looks for an opportunity, plays it behind the net. Ananiev trying to center it. Fortunately, he's looked at by a couple of Eagles. Postal back up to the point, walking the line. Saratino with a shot. That goes off a leg. Looks like it may have hit Ananiev, but it comes over the near side. Good hold by Borma, centering it, trying to get it for Musser. As Musser looking for goal number 2, but a good defensive play made there by Tyler Sheldon. Here's a shot and a glove save. Not a clean glove save, but a save nonetheless by the netminder Torringa. There's a little bit of good pressure here by this top line for Northview. Ananiev looking to center it. Over looks at a couple of his options. Gives it for Postal in front, and a good save and tight by Torunga again. As Ananiev setting up all the action here for the Wildcats. Throws one across. However, his pass is knocked away. And the Eagles were able to clear. Rushing ahead, a 2-on-1. Now on a cross. Look out here. A chance for Plumer, and he's in. Oh, and a good stop there. Jackson Plummert coming in. Or it's Jaden Plummert with the opportunity. One of 3 Plummerts on this roster. As the puck is deflected into the Northview bench. And a little bit of end-to-end action there. And Austin, a near miss there for the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of said it best. I mean, Northview, did a wonderful job of keeping the puck in the zone, great puck possession, a few good scoring opportunities, but again, Hudsonville able to get the puck out, create a little mini breakaway for themselves, but a great save there by Kelly.
Kelly, who's doing everything he can to keep it in this one, trying to keep his team in this hockey game, and definitely not going to give up here. With 11:11 to go here in the second period, puck's turned over. Here's Woodring breaking in down the right wing side. He's in. Oh, and a good save made by Torunga, and the rebound swept away. Serba centers it towards the goal, but nobody there for Northview as the Eagles look to clear. Held in though at the right point. Easton Cobb gets bumped, but he's able to hold the line at least for a moment. Hudsonville gets it back. Carter Brink across the line, trying to dance around Serba. Got the puck knocked off his stick, but it gets pushed back down low behind the Northview goal. Over to the far side, trying to make a move. There's Vandenberg, has it at the top of the circle, gets by Woodring, takes a shot, and trying to go short side high, but missed. And coming on over and helping and holding in as Carter Brink is helping out his defenseman, Austin Plumbert. Centered out in front, a couple of whacks at it. Right on the top of the crease there for the Eagles, looking for goal number 6. Unfortunately, knocked away by Northview, and a good job by Dylan Kelly. Avoiding a check there was Brady Klakukka. Unfortunately, couldn't get his momentum entirely through as Northview's changing with 10-12 to go. Here's a chance off the bench with Postal with a shot. That went off the tip of the glove of the netminder Torunga and over top of the net. Up at the point, Saratino knocks it down low. Postal has it, turns, shoots, and it gets deflected wide over to the far corner. Buser on it now for the Cats. Centering it, looking for Ananiev, but it was knocked away. Trying to clear it, Sawyer Richards, and a kind of a weird collision as Bormes ran into Brink on the near side, but back to the way come the Eagles. Peyton Wilson trying to dance through, but he couldn't corral it entirely as it just drifts off into the far corner in the Wildcat zone. Knocked high to center by Bormes, and will come back down the Eagles zone, where Drew Johnson will have it with 9:35 to go here in period 2. Eagles lead by 4. Stretch pass misses everybody, so it'll actually go for icing against the Eagles, so we'll go back down to our left as that was a nice little play there in that last rush there by Woodring. Woodring, who actually was one of the top scorers on this Northview team last season, finished 4th on the team with 10 goals and 7 assists, had a great chance there.
Yeah, he did. He was able to kind of capitalize on Hudsonville's little, I think that was Plummer who kind of had, kind of fumbled the puck there, and he was able to get it, walking in a mini breakaway. But again, Ryan Torunga, he came up big with that save.
Yeah, he hasn't made, like we said, hasn't made too many, but the old Kenny Dryden analogy, if you will, he may only face 8 shots a game, but if you don't make 8 saves, then obviously it's not a good night.
Yep, exactly.
Puck cleared down by the Wildcats. This time an icing called against the home squad will force the face-off 200 feet in the opposite direction. 9:13 to go here in the second period, and what is probably our last high school hockey broadcast of the season, as there's only one more day, or Saturday is the last day of high school hockey action. Unfortunately, we're busy. You and I are. You're playing. I'm broadcasting.
Yep.
For some other teams. Unfortunately, you got to try that. See, eventually, Austin, it's going to be over, and you're going to have to think what's best for your future.
Yep.
Broadcasting's not it. It's fun, though. We're all having fun here at Griff's Ice House here with 8:54 to go here in the second period. Puck's deep in Northview territory. Giovanni Saratino, the junior defenseman, goes back for it. Gives it over for Bormes, clears to the line, not out. That's Drew Johnson with a shot blocker save. Trying to corral the rebound was Kelly, but it gets swept off to the near side corner. Back up to the left point. Talsma takes a shot. Good glove save made by Kelly as he flashes that one, and a little bit of a quick little snag there by the Sparta, or the Comstock Park netminder, excuse me.
Yep, it was. I mean, kind of made the first initial save on the point here. Is Northview couldn't clear it out, but that was a great play there by Drew Johnson to keep the puck in, get a quick little blocker save. But then again, Hudsonville able to get the puck, give it to the far point that time to shoot far side. But Kelly was able to make that glove save look pretty easy.
And make it look pretty as well. Face off to his right. Anthony Woodring gets kicked out of the draw, so Brady Klakukka will come on over. Brother of Alex Klakukka, who plays for Aquinas College in the ACHA Division I level. Eagles keep the puck deep in Northview territory, but it looked like it was going to attempt to try to clear it out. There was Cade Nobets. A shot from a bad angle by way of Jackson Seiler goes wide. Centered on through, goes into the feet of Alex Mills, and the Wildcats trying to clear it. And a nice long dump in right on goal. Good old 175-foot shot. Look out. Kukutka from a bad angle as Toringa gave it away to him. The Eagles looking to clear now as puck's taken back, though, by Kukutka. He'll just dump it around the near side, and it'll wrap all the way over to that far half wall. Kyle Pitcher takes a bump by way of the defenseman Ethan Rad, the latest goal scorer. Here's a chance now for Kukutka. He's in tight. Oh, and a good blocker save made by Toringa. And a penalty upcoming, though, as taking his man down was Kukutka. Wait for the Wildcats touch the puck. They do, as Woodring shot it towards the goal. However, a penalty coming to Kukutka will put the Eagles on the power play for the third time this afternoon.
Yeah, down 5-1, you don't really want to take that penalty, but it kind of seemed just Northview just a little frustrated, kind of with the way it was. Had a great scoring opportunity there for him, but just couldn't seem to bury it. And then going into the corner, kind of drag him down a little bit and gives Hudsonville a power play.
So Kukutka goes off. Third power play of the game for Hudsonville. They're 1 for 2. Drew Mulder, correction, Ethan Rad's not the latest goal scorer. Drew Mulder's the latest goal scorer. Ethan Rad's the latest goal scorer that is not named Drew Mulder. We'll go with that. That's how we'll play that one off. Face-off will be to the left of Kelly in the Northview zone. Pardon me, to the right. Everyone is face-off. Everyone is set up on the left. They'll go to the right. Top units back out there for the Eagles. They win the draw. Look out, though. Trying to jump up and knock it away was Ananiev, but he couldn't get it out. Second opportunity, not cleared by Saratino. Long shot from the point and a good glove save. No traffic around him by way of Talsma. Dylan Kelly will hold on to it for a face-off. 7:37 to go in the second period. Just 9 seconds off the power play here for the Eagles. They win the draw again and will control. Trying to turn a little too hard there on the far side and taking a tumble was Cole Toringa, but he's back up on his feet. Is now trying to work it off the wall is Derek Vandenberg. Toringa gets it, throws it back down behind the Northview goal. Coming on over there is Bormus, and he'll clear it out and down the ice. A lot of time left on this power play for the Eagles. Talsma and Johnson running the points. Up front is Noah Walks, along with Cole Toringa and Vandenberg. Vandenberg takes a firm check right in the near side as Musser stepped into him, and Vandenberg rejoins the play. A little worse for wear, though. Deep in Wildcats territory, Saratino plays it back behind that for Serba. Oh, gives it away. Look out. Chance at the side of the goal. Poked at, saved by Kelly, and the rebound gets pushed wide. Oh, boy, a disastrous turnover almost there for Northview, but thankfully Kelly was able to bail him out with a couple of good saves with the left pad. Saratino now taking a couple of bumps on that far half wall, trying to waste some time as he puts it into the boards. Now Postal will get it for Northview and clear it out and down the ice. 45 seconds left in the Eagles' power play. 6:30 to go in the second period. 5-1 lead for the road team. Over the near side, Peyton Wilson. Slap shot. That one goes wide, and now it's just skitters over to the far side. Kept in deep. However, it lands right on the stick of, that's Easton Cobb. He'll clear out and down the ice. Still no icing as there's only 30 seconds left. Look out. Oh, off the post. Toringa gave it away, and Postal rang it off his namesake. He had a wide open net. Back the way come the Eagles. It's Talsma in front, looking as Wilson, and it goes wide. Oh, my goodness. Postal is going to have nightmares. Here's Anthony Woodring, though, with a shorthanded chance on the right wing side. Burst in on goal. It's poked away by Toringa. Here, back the way come the Eagles. The penalty expires, but Hudsonville still on the attack. Here's Owen Plummer on the backhand, looking to center. Does for Wilson, but it skips over his stick and wide. Woodring slaps it out to the neutral zones, played by Talsma. Over to the far side. In the Northview zone, Bormus almost gives it away. Second opportunity, chips it to center. Ananiev off the bench, on sides. One-on-one with Talsma. From a bad angle, the shot save made. And smothering it is Toringa, who to say has had an interesting shift, none is kind of understating. But boy, oh boy, we were looking at a 3-goal hockey game, but Postal ringing one off the iron.
Ooh, yeah, I mean, as you said, kind of the jump in on the penalty kill for Northview. Ryan Torrey came to play it out, turned it over right to Postal, and Postal just hitting the far post.
It looked like it was going in. Everyone was celebrating as such. Postal's back on the ice now, looking to try to redeem himself, but he's got to get in a defensive position. Here at the side of the goal, there was Welch for the Eagles trying to get one, but it gets swept away. Eagles keep it in, though. It gets knocked over in the near side corner with 5 minutes to go in this second period. Down there is Braden Ostapovich for Hudsonville. It gets over now for Drew Mulder. Hat trick already in this game. Throws one towards the goal, and it didn't miss the far side by much. Held at the point by Sawyer Richards for the Eagles, but turned over. Now Philip Ananiev is able to work it out for Northview. Postal gets bumped. Ananiev has it, but taken off his stick, and it gets knocked back in the neutral zone. Wildcats have it, but it gets quickly thrown right back in by Obetz. Wildcats changing here with 4.5 to go in this second period. Eagles now look to move it ahead. Slapped on in by way of Mulder, and they'll go chasing after it. There's a quick pass out in front, and they score! What a quick pass in front by Welch, and Mulder takes it on in, and that's his 4th of the game, 2nd of the period, and it's 6-1 Eagles.
Yeah, that play kind of developed with Northview. Just a miscommunication with on the D. They thought one of their defensemen were going to get it. Instead, he kind of left it for, looked like his winger, I believe, and just no one was there up in front. And again, as you said, a good pass there by Welch to Mulder to make it a 6-1, as you said, a 4-goal night for Drew Mulder.
It looked like Obetz went back, and he went over to the far side of that, thinking that puck was going to come to him a little bit quicker, but it just died over here in the corner, and that allowed Welch to get it, turn right out in front, and Mulder, good goal scorers, nowhere to go, right in front of the net with the stick on the ice. He taps it by the pad, and that extends the Eagles' lead now to their biggest of the afternoon, a 5-goal lead for the Eagles, who came into today with an 8-6 record. As the puck's chipped out in the neutral zone by Camden Bormes, but it's turned back over by the Wildcats. Here's an opportunity now. Bormes has it. A shot, though, gets blocked. Here's Serratino with a shot from the point. Stick save made. Pushed over to the far side by the netminder, Tornga. Held at the blue line momentarily, but the Eagles are now able to get it out. And now streaking down the left wing side is Jaden Plummer. He gets turned on back by way of a good back check by Kyle Pitcher. On the near side, it's slapped up the wall and out to the neutral zone and down into Eagles territory with 3.5 to go in the second period. Slowing things down in his own zone with a long stretch pass now is Tyler Sheldon. Deflected on by Jaden Plummer. You have to make sure I distinguish which one is which because there's Jaden, Owen, and Austin Plummer. Austin Plummer, we've said his name a few times. He's made a couple of big plays, but now looking to make a big play here for Northview is Thomas Postal, a man who just had a great opportunity with a wide open net just moments ago. Here's Musser getting in front for Postal, but it was in his feet. Couldn't get the one-timer off at the side of the net. Philip Ananiev, the leading scorer for Northview, gets the puck knocked off his stick. Now trying to work it out of the corner is Musser. He pushes it down low. It's turned back over, at least for a moment. Now pinned to the boards is Ethan Rad. Slapped up to the point. Good hold by Serba. Serba knocks it towards the high slot, trying to get a shot off, but it gets taken away from him by Sheldon. On second opportunity, able to dump it out to the neutral zone is Cole Tornga. Wildcats are able to get it back, though, with 2.5 to go here in this second period. 6-1 lead now for the Eagles. Tyler Sheldon on it back for Hudsonville. He goes behind his own net, throws it up the near side. Trying to tip it up as Noah walks. Pressuring him is Postal, and now gets forced over the far side. Anthony Woodring just coming onto the ice. Gets by one man as he pushed it down low. The rest of his mates are changing. Gets upended a little bit, and that will draw the arm of the official along with the whistle. As now Northview will get their first power play of the game with just 2:11 to go in this middle stanza.
Yep, and that penalty was all created there by Anthony Woodring as just kind of hard work in the corners, just keep pushing the puck and not really giving up on it, and kind of had a little bit of upper hand, and then just a little bit, obviously it was a trip to give Northview on the power play here.
That's what I always say as a coach. If you ever want to draw a penalty, keep moving your feet, and that's what Woodring did on that one. So we'll have the face-off to the right of the netminder, Tornga. Time of this penalty, the 14:49 mark. Face-off one on back by the Eagles, and they'll clear it 200 feet. Look out, though, pressuring here as well. He'll come on goal. He'll actually wrap it around. Woodring, though, is able to force him off and get the turnover as the Wildcats get the puck back. Still plenty of time left on this power play. Easton Cobb has it up. They'll bring it ahead. Pass up to the left side, trying to move it towards the middle was Nate Miller, but it was knocked off his stick. Cobb kind of has some issues right in front of the Hudsonville bench, but Mulder had gone offside before the puck came back over. So offsides against the Eagles. We'll have a face-off just to the right of their bench with 1:35 left in the power play for Northview, 1:45 remaining in the frame. Top unit still out there, comes out there now for the Wildcats. Brady Musser wins the draw. Serratino will bring it ahead, trying to get it for Ananiev. His pass, though, is cut off, and it gets swept over to the near side. Trying to dump it on in. Muller just slapped it right off the leg of Bormus. That can't feel too pretty. As now Johnson fires it in from a long way out, and it's stopped just enough by Kelly. Kind of scored over to the far side, and maybe some tense moments there for the Northview netminder.
Yeah, it's always a bad feeling for a goaltender when you lose sight of the puck, especially kind of on those types of dump-ins.
Here's Ananiev back in Hudsonville zone, trying to center it, but a pass missed Postal. Welch clears it to the line, and a little bit of help will finish it off, and the Eagles will clear by way of Drew Mulder with 54 seconds left on the power play. Bormus wraps up from behind his own goal. Long stretch pass intercepted by Johnson. He'll bring it in across the line, gets it knocked off his stick, but the Eagles maintain possession as they'll try to kill some more time left in this penalty. However, a clear was initially knocked down by Nate Miller. Follow-up dumped back all the way down by Aiden Talsma. Wildcats still have a little bit of time here. 42 seconds left here in the period. 30 seconds left in the power play. However, quick turnover gets dumped right back in by Carter Brink. Stretch pass ahead, tipped. Trying to pressure on now is Brady Klakukka trying to get around Talsma, but Talsma was able to work him off the puck. 30 seconds left. Talsma's going to try to rush it up. Gets by one man. He'll just throw it across off the stick of Carter Brink, and he was offsides, but it was played by Saratino. I thought maybe they're going to allow him to break it out, but the linesman blows the whistle first, so the offsides will have us reset just outside the Northview blue line. 21.6 seconds to go in this second period. The Eagles lead by 5. They won 8-2 back on February the 13th. And man, they had a big night on that one, is having a big night here tonight. 4 goals for Drew Mulder thus far through the first 2 periods. Penalty will expire. Here's Kyle Pitcher behind the goal, looking to center, throws one at a bad angle, goes off a leg, and will squirt out all the way towards the line, trying to get the turnover here, and almost doing so was Derek Vandenberg, but at least the Wildcats able to clear. Here's Woodring, 2 seconds and one last chance, but a good stick lift at the last second by Jackson Seiler. Didn't allow Woodring to get that slap shot off, and that's how we'll end period number 2. A few more, 3 to be exact, by the Eagles. Gives them a 5-goal lead heading in the third period after another offensive outburst by their leading scorer. Let's take a break, folks. When we come back, we'll give you more high school hockey action, as the second intermission report will be right after this here on the Kuehl Show, where we have all sorts of fun analysis every Monday night on 12 Ounce Sports, talking to some of the biggest names in the industry and some of the brightest names as well, including longtime radio play-by-play voice of the Nashville Predators, Pete Weber.
Got so angry when he slammed the penalty box door shut, it broke the glass there. And I thought that perfectly captured the whole spirit of that evening.
Oh, gosh, I remember that now. Oh, my.
Mild-mannered Steve Eisman, who I've met in person, and is just this nicely calm guy. He only every so often got a little bit on edge, and when he did, watch out, 5'10". I mean, he's going to come after you. But I mean,
yes, he is.
And I mean, man, of course, it's great to see, obviously, because back then that was like, oh, the Wings will beat the Preds, and like, oh, this Nashville team's pretty good now. They got David Legwan and Thomas Vokoun, who caught with the wrong hand. But I mean, it's good to see now that Nashville has become, I guess, a market that players want to go to, and compared to their first few years in the league, where everyone's like, it's another expansion team. I mean, that's a great thing to see there, Pete.
Well, the first years, virtually every trip the Predators took on the road was some sort of special promotion night, so they could sell the tickets. I remember in St. Louis, it was Pepsi label night, and you would get a deal like 2 tickets for $12 with the 2 Pepsi labels to work in there. That was the sort of thing they had to do to sell to the road fans when the Predators came in there. But this whole Red Wing thing, we held a conversion night one night. I think it was year 3. Any Red Wing paraphernalia, pennants, T-shirts, caps, bring it to, it was not Bridgestone Arena yet, but bring it to the rink at 501 Broadway, and you will get an equivalent Predators item. We ended up filling up 4 refrigerator-sized boxes of Red Wing stuff, and we were going to take on the Wings the next week in Detroit, and we put those on the plane, and I took them to the Boys and Girls Club of Detroit, and those kids were happy as happy could be. It seemed like that was the time when it really began to turn from that hybrid Red Wing fan to Predators fans.
That's an awesome story. I never knew that.
Oh.
That brings a tear to my. That's actually a really sweet story. I never heard that. Like, usually I hear those dumb stories all the time. I never heard that because, I mean, then again, you don't hear teams helping out other teams, stuff like that. I mean, that's just something you don't see in the game. But I guess that's the way. I mean, good on you guys.
Well, I made a call to an old baseball friend, Willie Horton.
Oh, yeah.
Helped us along with that thing. So that was good.
That'll do it.
Willie Horton, man. There's a name that I'm pretty sure if my dad's looking at it, he's like, I remember him. Well, I mean, my dad is old. He's turning 50 this year. But
Relatively.
Well, I have quite a few years on your father, so
and you can always catch fun interviews like that every Monday night on The Kuehl Show on 12 Ounce Sports, where I'm joined by a plethora of fun guests. Not as fun, though, as my color commentator tonight, Austin Strauss, Tyler Kuehl, and Austin back here at Griff's Ice House. After 2 periods of play, the Eagles lead by a score of 6-1. Austin, that was kind of a period of just absolute misfortune for the Wildcats, to say the least. We'll get to one play here in just a minute, but let's get to the goals first. First, Ethan Rad, his first goal as an Eagle, I believe, at least the way they grabbed the puck out of that. It's his first of the season for the junior defenseman. Just 28 seconds in, a shot that I don't think even Dylan Kelly even saw.
Nope, yep, as you said, it was a point shot. You just kind of threw it on net. When I think it looked like, it must have got through 5 or 6 bodies, just kind of right in. And as you said, Kelly he did not see it at all. And just like that, he's got his first goal for as an Eagle.
Yeah, that's one. I think it looked like it was deflected because I initially thought maybe Carter Brink, the sophomore, got a stick on it by the way he reacted, but must have gone off a Wildcat and in. But that, at that point, made it 4-1. A couple minutes later, a penalty taken by Nate Miller put the Eagles on their second power play of the game, and they did not miss this time as an opportunity. A shot from the point by Talsman got stopped. However, right on the backdoor side was Mr. Drew Mulder. And, you don't want to leave him wide open. That was his third of the game. Gets a hat trick, and I believe that is his third hat trick of the season.
Yep, as you said, with Hudsonville's power play, they do a great job of moving the puck. And then, again, it was a great shot from the point. But Kelly made the initial save. But as you said, when you got a top goal scorer, Drew Mulder, kind of on the power play, kind of lurking around and being wide open, he's not going to miss the net, and kind of buried the rebound.
I will say this. I looked at the stats right. It's his second hat trick of the season. He scored 5 goals against East Kentwood. So apparently when he scores goals, he scores a lot in one game. Obviously, he's going to try to maybe match that mark. He's got 17 minutes to do so as he is able to add his fourth of the game just not too long later. And that one was a weird play because we talked about it a little bit. It looked like maybe Caden Obetz was going back for the Wildcats behind the net. He took the long route thinking the puck was going to go around, but at that point in the period, a lot of snow back behind in the corners, whatever, and that puck just died in the corner. Jackson Welch jumps on it, jumps it out in front for who? Mr. Mulder. He taps in his fourth of the game, and that was just kind of a weird play in general for the Wildcats.
Yep, exactly. kind of Northview, kind of a little bit story of the game, or at least an aspect of it, of just kind of weird bounces, just kind of funky little things. And as you said, kind of towards the end of the period, that snow kind of builds, so, the puck doesn't go as far as it usually does at the start of the period, and just kind of a mishap. But again, Hudsonville just capitalizing on that opportunity.
They did kill off their third penalty they took, as going off was Brady Kakaka. However, during that penalty, Rylan Torunga comes out of the net for the Eagles to play the puck. He throws it up to the near side, trying to find his defenseman. Unfortunately for him, Thomas Postal for the Wildcats gets the turnover, and he's looking at a wide open net, and he hits the post. I'm not going to say it's full Patrick Steffen, but man, if you're talking about any point, because at that point it was still a 5-1 game, and obviously, high school hockey in general is weird, where a 5-1 lead is not safe. Toronto Maple Leafs fan here. We lost to Ottawa, for goodness sakes. However, just maybe think that maybe to be able to spark the team, a shorthanded goal always helped out. But Postal, unfortunately, I don't want to be, if the movie Inception has anything to say, his nightmares are going to be tough to watch.
Yeah, you said it best. Just, again, the wide open net. And, again, a great play by him. Forechecking on the PK, able to create that turnover and just turn and shoot and just, as you said, kind of the worst possible. Far post, he was kind of on the near side here. Just hit the far post, and it goes the other way. But, you hate to see it.
It's one of those things that, remember from the Mighty Ducks movie where Gordon Bombay says, 1/4 of an inch, Charlie, and it goes in the net. And then, of course, you want to be the Charlie Conway aspect of it. Well, 1/4 of an inch the other way, you miss completely. So, would you rather miss? Now, that's one thing. Would you rather miss completely or hit the post? We're goaltenders. We don't ever get these scoring chances. But if we hit the post, hey, that's a shot on goal for us.
Yep, exactly.
But, geez, what would you rather have?
Honestly, I think I would want to miss the net. Just because, if you miss the net, it's like, all right, miss the net. When you hit the post,
it's like if I was just a little bit closer, a little bit to the left. It is it's the worst feeling. And, of course, we're here at Griff's Ice House here just outside of downtown Grand Rapids, a rink that I played at growing up, all the way from, I swear, I was 6 years old. Actually, no, I even didn't learn to play here. I've been skating on this rink since I was 3 years old. And you want to know how much has changed. When you really can't see it when you're with the camera here at Griff's Ice House. You can't see it. but above the time clock has changed here at Griff's Ice House. The sign, though, above it, the Meyer sign you see there. Austin, you're from Colorado, so maybe Meyer's not your biggest thing, but that logo is from 1994. I guarantee it. The score, that board that's got the Griffins logo on it that says they're celebrating the 25th year anniversary of Griff's Ice House, that used to be the City League standings board. And thank goodness they got a new scoreboard. They used to have a different one, but it's the old Pepsi logo for Belknap Ice Rink, which is what it used to be called before the Griffins came into town. Like, this rink, I'm trying to think, of all the rinks that are around here, there's Eagles Ice Center, which used to be Jolly Roger, which is the oldest rink in West Michigan, at least longest standing rink. Then it goes Griff's, then it goes Patterson Ice Center, where you play for Davenport University. There's obviously Georgetown, and there's Holland. But this rink, for me, is just something special. That's the reason why I want to do this game specifically. A, because why not call a game for your former team? Heck, I do it for Davenport. I've done it for the last 3 years, so nothing's new there. But it's different because high school hockey it's unique. And we talked about this last week a little bit. It's, college hockey's fun. It's high-intensity hockey. But high school hockey, it's kids that are playing the game because they love it. Some will go on to play college hockey or junior hockey after, but some are just, have some fun with your buddies and go play some hockey for your school and represent your school, put the sweater on, and have some fun. Obviously, not as quite the atmosphere we've had in years past. Obviously, we don't have the student section going crazy and yelling weird things at you, but it's still fun to play.
Yep, it sure is. I mean, it is always tough to beat high school hockey because you are playing, with your fellow peers, your fellow classmates, and, they become your teammates, and you just kind of form a bonding. You really do form a lot of memories, playing high school hockey. And, as you kind of said, you growing up in this rink, I mean, it just brings back a lot of memories. I mean, for me in Colorado, my home rink was the Family Sports Center, and it always does bring back memories when you do go back there. You do have the honor of being able to call a game at your home rink is something pretty special.
Of course, then again, I've played at just about every rink around West Michigan's area, so every rink for me is a home rink. Eventually, one of these days, I'll move somewhere and be like, wow, what's so special about this rink? And then I'll meet someone who's like, I remember in 1983. And I'm like, oh boy, going full aging here. As both teams are stepping back onto the ice here at Griff's Ice House, Northview and Hudsonville. Talking about the game that's going on right now, the Eagles are up 6-1 after 2 periods. They scored 3 in the first, 3 in the second. Northview's lone goal came by way of Brady Muser back in the first period, his 6th goal of the season. Wildcats going back left to right across your screen. Right to left going are the Eagles as we are underway here in period number 3. Here come the Wildcats right with a chance right away, and that one gets deflected wide as this top line trying to cause some havoc early once again. They had a chance early in the first period. That was the Muser goal. Trying to get something down here in the third period, but the Eagles settle things down as they'll clear it ahead. Down the right wing side, here comes Peyton Wilson. A pass across, goes knocked off the stick by Camden Bormes. It gets knocked back down low. Is trying to center it here is Wilson. Wilson listed as a defenseman on the roster, but playing forward right now here for the Eagles. Gets swept back down low as Wilson looks to cycle it up the boards. However, gets taken away by Giovanni Saratino of the Wildcats. Saratino, the junior from Northview, turns it over, though, and a centering pass gets knocked away. Philip Ananiev will try to slow things down behind his own goal. Bormes, one of the captains, gives it away right in the high slot. Thankfully for him, though, he's able to make up for his mistake as he pushes it on ahead. Ananiev across the line, fakes a slap shot, steps around his man, takes a shot, and he misses by the far side as he was able to dance around Tyler Sheldon. Good dump in now here by the defenseman Obetz. And once again, Austin, a good rush by the Polish playmaker.
Yep, it sure was. I mean, Ananiev, kind of received a puck from, a good breakout pass from his defenseman, coming in. Nice little fake, slap shot as soon as he walked in, and then just kind of made his way around defenseman and then shot it far side. Unfortunately, just missed the net.
Eagles have it out of their own zone. Knocked ahead by Drew Mulder. 4 goals on the afternoon does the Hudsonville Eagles leading scorer. 20 goals on the season. Not too shabby for the senior. Puck's almost given away, but now here's a little bit of room now for Drew Johnson. Gets ahead for said Mulder. He's got Jackson Welch driving the goal. He gets met, though, behind the net, and a good firm check by Anthony Woodring, one of the defensemen for this Wildcat team. Just a couple minutes into this third period. 5-goal lead here for the Eagles. A long shot from the point by Johnson, and sucking that one up right into the mix section is the netminder Dylan Kelly for the Wildcats, and he holds on for a face-off.
Yep, I mean, Hudsonville doing what they've done all game, which is just kind of get the puck in deep, puck possession, work it to the point and just kind of shoot from the point and see what happens. But that was a great save by Kelly to, it made it look easy, but again, that was just a good save and especially not letting up a rebound.
Face-off one here by the Wildcats. Musser pushes it on to center. He's got Ananiev to his left as he comes across the line, but he'll just dump it on in and takes a firm check into the boards. Didn't look like a big check, but when you go at that kind of speed and I say when a motion stays in motion is now the Eagles come back to their way. A chance out in front, and they score. Braden Ostapovich comes in late and puts one over the catching glove of Kelly, and it's 7-1 Eagles.
And that goal kind of all started in Hudsonville's end as they were able to get the puck, able to chip it up along the far side to get a great 2-on-1, and then again, beautiful pass to Braden Ostapovich. I really hope you pronounce his name right there. And then again, as he was able to walk in, shoot glove side, and it kind of looked like for Dylan Kelly, he kind of played a little bit far back too in his crease and just kind of opened up that whole top part of the net.
Tried to come across. Unfortunately, it looks like he may have overplayed it a little bit too, but nonetheless, the goal for the Eagles, that goal for Ostapovich now, that gives him a grand total of now 4 on the season, his 15th point of the year as well for the Eagles. Time of that goal, just a couple minutes in, is now it's a 6-goal lead for the Eagles. Here's a shot from the point, save made by Kelly as Johnson got another one through. Still 14-17 to go here in the third period. The public address announcer just went, he said, it's like time to goal for Eagles, number 25, and we all knew what he was doing. He was trying to figure out how to say Ostapovich. So that's why I made sure when his dad came over that we had it right before this game went on as the puck's cleared down by the Wildcats, who will have a face-off back in their own zone. Still reaching for that 30-minute mark. Names are tough, Austin.
They are, and, luckily for me and especially you, the fact that you always come in prepared, making sure you always get the names right, it's...
I still don't get them right. Half the time I mess up. I'm pretty sure I've said Musser's name 3 different ways. But because I was told that it was like it's Musser, but I've also heard it's Musser because there is Carson Musser who plays for Bowling Green, NCAA Division I, who is from Rockford. So that's why I remember him. So I think it's Musser, but I've heard Musser before as well. But regardless, we continue on here in the third period. Wildcats trying to break it out. Musser pushes on ahead. Unfortunately, unable to get that pass was Thomas Postal. The Eagles bring it back on in, but Philip Ananiev, one of the leading goal scorer, leading scorer in general for the Wildcats, knocks it on ahead. Yeah, Camden Bormes dumps it on in, deep in Eagles territory. Trying to look out in front was Postal, but he goes all the way to the line. We'll just dump it back in on his backhand. Sawyer Richards will able to swing it on around for the Eagles over to the far side. Trying to chip it out now will be Noah Walks, and he does get it ahead. A little bit of room on the far side, trying to dance on through as Jackson Seiler's knocked off his stick. There's a long stretch pass here, finding Klekukka coming off the bench, right wing side. He'll stop up, looks over his options. A lot of his mates are changing, so he doesn't have a whole lot of room. Gets turned back over, held no at the line for a moment by Easton Cobb, but the Eagles are able to get it ahead, but a good job by Cobb to stick with it and get the puck back for the Wildcats. Klekukka picks it up at his own blue line, pushed ahead now and dumped on in by Saratino. He'll go in on the forecheck, but it's Klekukka on the near side corner. He gets bumped in the boards. As now the Wildcats look to attack here in the offensive zone. Woodring off the bench, shot his blocked. Second shot, that one gets sticked away by Torunga. Saratino out in front, and a chance, but unable to get it was Nate Miller. Whistle blows. As here's a late push now by Saratino, and now a couple of Eagles having some words for the Panther defenseman, and a great play there. A little odd one as well, but Torunga made the save. The whistle blew, I think probably the whistle blew because I think the ref maybe thought Torunga grabbed it with the glove.
Yeah, kind of initially there. I mean, as you said, kind of threw it in front, and it looked like Torunga kind of controlled it, but then as soon as the whistle blew, we kind of saw the puck kind of pop out in the slot.
Nonetheless, the Eagles do win the draw, and they'll push it ahead with Cole Torunga, trying to dance his way through, but he's cut off by a pair of Wildcats. Pass up the boards, tipped on in by Thomas Postal. He does get a turnover, and he'll chase it behind the Eagles' goal. Slaps it up the boards, but can't get it to the point. Gets knocked down low. Ananiev trying to center for Musser. Now for Postal from a bad angle, and he pushed it wide to the far side. To the line and not out. Good back pressure by Musser to at least hold the line for a second. Second opportunity, though, it's knocked ahead by Tyler Sheldon, and it just rolls back into the Northview zone. 5 minutes into this third period, 7-1 lead here for the Eagles. Sheldon will knock it back. Wildcats are changing, and thankfully, though, a guy got off, so they don't have too many men on the ice call. Shot by Thomas Nickel gets fanned down as he was bumped for his troubles. Eagles trying to get out on the far side. Knocked ahead. Look out here. Maybe if he can get to it. Carter Brink, can he get a breakaway? Nope, but because the puck crossed the goal line first, and that's one of those instances where the automatic icing kind of comes back to haunt you as Brink trying to get off to the races. The sophomore forward, unfortunately, the stretch pass a little ahead of him. Still 11:32 left here in the third period. Both these teams have one more game each in their regular season before regional tournament time. We'll get to that here in just a second as the Eagles try to bring it back the other way, and there's a Hudsonville player down behind the play. They can't quite catch the number. Looks like it's Peyton Wilson down to the right of the Hudsonville goal. And Austin, it's another one of those instances where you just kind of missed what happened because the puck was one way and the play happened on the other.
Yep, exactly. And I'll be the first one to admit I was puck watching, so I didn't really see what happened. And from it seems to be a lower body injury from what we can tell. You hope it's just I can't really predict what it was because we didn't see it, but hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Peyton Wilson, obviously in a definite bit of pain as both teams' training staffs are coming over to look at him. As we'll just take a brief second here, but we'll take a quick look here at the upcoming schedule, at least for the remainder of the schedule for both teams, for both Hudsonville and Northview. Hudsonville has only got one game left. It'll be tomorrow night at Griff's Georgetown, a home game for the Eagles against Grand Haven, 7:30 puck drop. And then Northview on Saturday will host Kennewa Hills. That, to talk about an odd Thursday matchup. How about a 10 a.m. matchup, Austin? Ooh. I know sometimes in college hockey we've occasionally played morning games, but it's still weird.
It is. I mean, definitely, especially, weekends, morning games tend to be a little more frequent. But, I mean, obviously, very rarely comes to high school or college, you don't really have a whole lot of morning games. Maybe, in youth and tournaments, but very rarely ever high school. So it will be a little different for them. But, again, they're probably used to it with youth hockey, just a slight adjustment.
Yes, indeed. Peyton Wilson was able to get off under his own power. We'll keep an eye on him as he's off the bench now, just to the left of it on the Hudsonville bench, that is. 11:24 to go in the third period. 7-1 lead here for the Eagles. We'll get to both teams' postseason matchup here in just a minute as well. Drew Johnson has it in his own zone for Hudsonville. His pass goes off the leg of Ostapovich, almost turned over. Now trying to force the play here is Kyle Pitcher for the Wildcats. He can't get a handle on it, though, is now trying to move it along. As Ostapovich turns it over, Kyle Pitcher gets met, though, by Drew Johnson behind the net as he was looking to center it. Cleared to the line, not out. Woodring takes a shot. That gets blocked. Now trying to turn away was Giovanni Saratino. Couldn't quite do so. He pushed it back up the half wall. Now it's knocked back down low by Jackson Welch as the Eagles kind of struggling to clear at the moment here. But the Wildcats get it back. Saratino got the puck knocked off his stick, cleared to the line, and now as Bormes couldn't hold it in. Here comes Drew Mulder, left wing side. No icing. He's trying to play it. There was Bormes. Mulder trying to center it for Welch, but it was knocked away. Drew Johnson holds it in at the right point. It cycles back to the near side. Welch over for Talsma. Talsma takes a long shot that goes off the foot of Kyle Pitcher, who comes back out to the neutral zone. Dumped back in by Johnson. Both teams changing here as the Eagles have to touch up. Drew Mulder will quickly jump on it now in the near side corner for the Eagles. Looking to center it. Dances around the Northview goal. Looks up to the point. On the backhand, he has it himself across the blue line for Talsma. The two leading scorers connecting on that pass, and a pass across intended for Welch misses. Johnson at the half wall, throws it in front, knocked away momentarily. Postal able to get it ahead, and look out here. Maybe a 3-on-2, 3-on-3 now. Postal get in the middle for Ananiev. Tries to get a shot off, but a good tie-up by Drew Johnson. Not allowing the Wildcat leading scorer to get that shot away. Here's a shot from the point by Serba. That one gets knocked down. Look out. An opportunity. Here's Talsma. He'll lead the rush by himself. He'll come in on goal and a shot, and he scores. What a shot. Aiden Talsma picks the corner glove side high, and that makes it 8-1 Eagles.
And you said, kind of the goal again developed again with another great defensive play against Ananiev as he couldn't quite control the puck, and Hudsonville did a great, as you said, Drew Johnson there to kind of tie him up, get the puck, and then Northview, playing aggressive here, as it's kind of anticipated as you're down, and they kind of jump the play a little bit too much. Puck kind of get chipped up just past one of their defenders, and then Aiden Talisman taken in with his speed, and as you said, just ripped it glove side with a great shot.
That goal by Talisman now gives him 12 on the season, second on the team in points behind Drew Mulder. He does have an assist as well, which gives him now 25 on the season. Does Talisman, the senior defenseman. Time of that goal was the 7:20 mark of this third period. Here's a long shot, easily sticked away by Rylan Torunga. The Eagles look to bring it out. Pass, though, misses Derek Vandenberg, trying to follow it up, but it gets dumped down back in by Nate Miller, the senior from Comstock Park. They're going to give Tyler Sheldon the assist as the senior defenseman picks it up. The apple there is now, here comes in the Northview zone. Vandenberg gets by one man, starts to fall down and tries to pass it in front. Turned over for a second, but the Eagles get it back. Slapped down the wall by Austin Plummer, and the shot goes wide from a bad angle by way of Jackson Seiler. Kept in deep, though, by the Eagles. Centered, trying to center it out in front was Vandenberg. He has it now on the half wall, up to the left point. Plummer gives it across. Thrown towards the goal by Richards. Knocked down in front by Serba, but the Eagles stay on the attack. Here's a chance out in front, and they score! And it slides in by Dylan Kelly. I don't know who got the last stick on it. However, that makes it 9-1, and MHSA rules the mercy rule. The 8 goals after 2 periods of the third period, and the Eagles are able to win this one. Time of this goal coming at the 8:42 mark. Tough one tonight here for the Wildcats as the Eagles will win this one by a final score of 9-1. Didn't quite hear the official goal on the last one. We'll have to wait to see what the public address announcer says. But Austin, obviously, it's tough here on home ice. Like you said, the first time we've seen the mercy rule this season here on TKS. However, Hudsonville's offense came to play today, and they were not going to let up.
They sure did. You kind of nailed it. I mean, Hudsonville all game just kind of was constantly aggressive. You know, their D doing a great job of keeping the puck in and just doing overall a wonderful job of just not letting bad bounces, go against them. And when the opportunities arise for them, I mean, they buried them, as we kind of talked about. Northview, unfortunately, had, a few mishaps in the defensive zone, but Hudsonville was able to capitalize on them and obviously kind of lead to this victory.
Alex Mills with the goal they just heard from the public address announcer. That goal for Mills now. That puts him at 5 on the season. The assist going there to number 15, Derek Vandenberg. That's his 7th assist of the year. As the Eagles, like we said, win this one, they get the mercy rule win here tonight, an 8-goal victory. The lone goal scorer for the Wildcats here this afternoon, a goal by way of Brady Muser. That assist coming from Philip Ananiev. Ananiev now with 20 points on the season. He reaches the lone Wildcats to be doing so thus far. Quick rundown of the numbers here for the Eagles. 4 goals on the game for Drew Mulder. That's his second highest of the season. He scored 5 against East Kentwood earlier on. Jackson Welch had a goal and an assist as well. Ethan Rad. Make sure I'm not missing anyone else here. Ethan Rad also had a goal from Braden Ostapovich. And the latest goal, the one that ends this hockey game, Alex Mills, the senior, with his 5th goal of the season. Well, folks, that is it for this one here from Griff's Ice House. The mercy rule win here for the Eagles, a 9-1 victory. Last high school game of the season. Austin, it's been fun. I know you've only done a couple with us, but high school hockey, it can be fun to call at times.
Yep,
Obviously not the way we wanted this one to end today.
No, but it's, again, as you said, it is always a wonderful time to call hockey games and to always go back and watch them. I mean, for high school, just because it is nice to see kind of these, these young boys, turning into young men and just playing the sport that they love. I mean, when you play high school hockey, it's 99% of the time it's for the love of the game and just watching them just out there, having a good time. Obviously, sometimes it's not the best of times when your team's down, but overall it's still always fun to play, best sport in the world.
Yep, that is definitely true. For Austin Strauss, I'm Tyler Kuehl saying thank you all for watching this presentation of high school hockey here on the Kuehl Show. We'll see you next season. Maybe, right? Next season?
Hopefully.
Because, hopefully it starts on time this year, right? I'm sure it's what everyone hoped for.